let's learn. And in this lesson, I chose and I felt it's good that we discuss together compound sentences. I'm so sure you've heard of it. When a statement or you've been asked, when is this sentence, is it a compound or what is it? So, first of all, what I need you to understand about compound sentences is that a compound sentence is a sentence that is made up of two independent clauses. Now, we have seen that, or in the other lesson we saw that an independent clause is a clause that can stand on its own. So here, we are saying that a compound sentence is a sentence that is made up of two main or independent clauses. So many more. Each clause here can stand on its own. That's basically what you're saying. And in this particular category, I want to take you back to Form 1 work. I believe you have learned or you are taught conjunctions. In Form 1, we only have 3 coordinating conjunctions that are used here. Leave alone what I have for the notes because they are for international students. I also teach in this particular school. So, the only these 3 and, but, and or are the only coordinating conjunctions accepted by the KICD to be taught in the Kenyan curriculum. That is the 844. So, in our context here, we are going to use the same, leave alone the 4, the normal, so that you're going to see here. Listen to what I'm saying. Leave alone what is in the notes, because there are some. Let me show you. I have some words here, not that you don't know them. Yes. As you can see here, we have for and, non, but, or, yet, so. So these ones, leave them aside. The 3 of them, and, but, and or, they are the ones that have been approved by the KICD, which is the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, to be taught to secondary school, in secondary schools, or to secondary school students at your level. So they are what we are going to cover in our session. So, any statement or any sentence that has but, let's just construct them. They are very simple. We have, he works in Wajir. He works in Wajir, but he stays in Isiolo. I can say, he works in Wajir, he stays in Isiolo, and he works in Wajir. These 2 sentences, they are complete, they are independent in the sense that he stays in Isiolo, it's complete. Anaishi Isiolo. He works in Wajir, anafanya kazi Wajir. They are complete. But now when you want to join them, we must use a coordinating conjunction. We cannot use a subordinating. A coordinating conjunction. Now because there are 2 parts, this is the first part that is he stays in Isiolo and works in Wajir. They are contradicting. They don't go on the same line. like contradicting on this, like that. This one is anaishi Isiolo, anafanya kazi Wajir. So the only perfect conjunction to use, the only perfect conjunction to use here is but. To bring the contrast part. To bring the contrast part. So it's going to be, he works in Wajir, but he stays in Isiolo. I hope you're getting it. So in this category, we can say, as you learned in Form 1, but is used for contrast, to show contrast. Now, let's go to all and see what we have here for all. Let's have the third sentence here. Do you want to go to Rongo or Homa Bay? The first sentence that we have here is, do you want to go to Rongo? And the second is, do you want to go to Homa Bay? Now, because this is the same person, okay? And it's like they are inquiring, and it's an aspect of choice, like between the two, where do you want to go? So we can just join them to become one, and it's going to be, do you want to go to Rongo or Homa Bay? Do you want to go to Rongo? Or do you want to go to Homa Bay? To avoid repetition, that's why we are using all. And all of this, just to avoid repetition, has been sidelined. So we are left with, do you want to go to Rongo or Homa Bay? Now we have this. Do you want to go to Rongo or Homa Bay? And that statement, as simple as it is, because of the presence of this coordinating conjunction, or it is a compound sentence. As simple as that. Any statement that you see it as any of these, it is a compound sentence. So let's go on to the next one, and it is and. Now we have to come up with our own, because those are the examples that I have. Good. And can be used to show addition. That's the function of and as a coordinating conjunction. I will buy maize. I will buy sugar. So, because this is the same person, it's not an aspect of choice. The first one was a question, do you want to go to Rongo? Do you want to go to Homa Bay? Here, I will buy maize, I will buy sugar. So it's an aspect of addition. So here, what do? We join the two, because and is used for addition. We say, I will buy maize and sugar. As simple as that. So, feel free to ask the question in case you have And don't forget, don't be blinded by the fundamentals. So yet, for no. Let's work with the three coordinating conjunctions that have been approved in our country to be taught. So any compound sentence must have a coordinating conjunction, but to show contrast, or to show choice, and to show addition. If you have any question, kindly come in the comment section, ask your question, and get back to you as soon as I can. So next on, I want us to go to complex sentences. Let's handle complex sentences. We have looked the compound sentences. So let's look on the complex sentences. So my good students, there's a very big difference between a compound sentence and a complex sentence. A compound sentence is made up of two independent clauses. That's a compound sentence. A complex sentence is made up of one main clause and at least one subordinate clause. A complex sentence is made up of one main clause or independent clause and at least one subordinate clause. Meaning what? A complex sentence can have one main clause and more than one subordinate clauses. Let's look it up. So here, in our examples here, yes, I've introduced it. It's made up of one independent clause and at least one dependent, and it goes on. Now, what do we use in complex sentences to join? Like, what type of words do we use to join the clauses in complex sentences? We use subordinating conjunctions. We use subordinating conjunctions to join the main clause to the subordinate clauses. So let's look at some examples of what we are saying. And the first one that we have is, although deer is my crops, they are cute. Before you leave, give me your address. Now let me just separate from the second one. Before you leave, now I want you to pay close attention to those particular ones that I've circled. While I prefer a permanent house, my wife prefers a semi-permanent one. While is a subordinating conjunction. So, and look out for what I told you. You can see this comma here. You can see it. While I prefer a permanent house, my wife prefers a semi-permanent one. Now, this part here, this one is a subordinate clause. This one is the main clause. Before you leave, this one is a subordinate clause, main clause. Although this is a subordinate clause, this one is the main clause. Complex sentences, where you have a main clause and a subordinate clause. You can say, give me your address before you leave. You can say, my wife prefers a semi-permanent house while I prefer a permanent one. My wife prefers a semi-permanent house while I prefer a permanent one. One at the end has replaced house. So on and on.